And we will welcome Defiant Technologies to a 5-minute presentation followed by 5 minutes Q&A.
Hello everyone, thank you for having us back. And for the new faces in the room, we're here to talk to you about how we plan to use virtual reality to enrich the way that you connect with the people that matter most. So, can everyone raise your hand if you've ever tried to take a picture on your phone and no matter what, the pictures could not do the scenery justice? Now take that hand and cover one of your eyes. This is what your camera is seeing. We live, work, and play in 3D, but when we share experiences with each other, we only share them in 2D. In 2D, colors aren't as vibrant, and that rich detail that you saw for the first time just can't stand out on this flat foreign screen you have in your pocket. So being an optical engineer, I set out to fix this. And just a reminder what we built, this is VidiVR, our patent-pending wearable virtual reality camera that captures your exact first-person perspective in 3D so you can broadcast in a virtual reality headset. And so just a reminder, here's how it works. So after Kramer got back from the beach, he then went to a concert. And so Clayton couldn't be there. And so Kramer fought his way to the front row, and then right when the show started, he began recording. And so Clayton, from the comfort of his own home, put on the VR headset and felt like he's there. When the artist reached out and grabbed Kramer's hands, Clayton felt like he was doing that.
Mobile head-mounted displays like this are great for viewing quick content. They already count for 80% of the market. There's 5 million out there. That number is projected to grow to 21 million by the end of this year. These aren't your typical gaming consoles of Oculus Rift or HTC Vive you've heard about. They're meant for everyone, all ages, all genders, whether it's leisurely viewing at home or on the go. It's meant for you. With Google and Samsung leading the way by offering extraordinary low barrier to entry, anyone can buy one of these for $5, put their smartphone in, and start experiencing virtual reality for themselves. Combine this with our product, and we're creating a whole new way for people to connect with one another and start engaging in the next generation of media.
So we're going to make money by selling our camera and sponsored posts on our app. We're excited because for the first time ever, companies will be able to do virtual product experiences directly to their customers.
Unlike other virtual reality products, we have a vast target market. Whether you're a teenager going to the Grand Canyon or a family going to Disneyland with your children for the first time, we have the virtual reality camera that will allow you to capture the moments that mean the most to you. So, we have the 30 million people that are going to be traveling in 2017 who are also interested in virtual reality. We are going to target these people because we want you to be able to share the content.
And so with these people, we're focusing on travelers because they're going to be able to create the content that is going to be most engaging for the people who download our app to see. When you download our app, we want you to be able to go anywhere in the world. On the B2B end, marketers went wild about our product. We were at a conference in Miami where we were talking to digital marketers from all different types of companies, from the culinary-related entertainment and marketing firm or to Twitter, an interactive ticket agency. What they're excited about is giving their customers virtual product experiences and being able to connect with them in a really authentic way that you just cannot do with other types of virtual reality production for your marketing material. And so far this year, our engineering team has built a couple iterations of our prototype, and we've also filed for a provisional patent in November. We went to a couple new venture competitions. We got a silver award at Arizona Collegiate Venture Competition, and at Emerge Americas in Miami, we partnered up with some great other companies, and we also found a lot of potential investors. And so what we can do on our end is we can get people excited about this product, and we can build out this prototype. But to scale this to where we want it to be, it's going to take a lot of professional help. So we partnered up with a company called So Friendly, who's already given us a proposal, and they're going to design our user interface and user experience. This is really important for us because our virtual reality product, we plan on bringing a whole lot of new people into the industry. And to do that, that requires that the minute they pick up their headset, that experience has got to be seamless. So we're creating an app that's absolutely easy for everyone to use on their first time. The back end is also a big challenge. In order to scale up this network of people experiencing the world through each other's eyes, it's going to take a lot of power on the back end. So we partnered up with this company called HT Interactive, who has 20 years of experience with helping companies scale in this way. We had a great conversation with them yesterday, and they're currently putting together a proposal for our business. And then, once we do this, we'll be in a great position to raise around $1.5 to $2 million in order to scale production of the hardware. Our mentor, his name is David, he works for a company called Surface Inc., and they'll be able to take us to production, and hopefully we're going to have units in January that we can present at Consumer Electronics Showcase.
Thank you for inviting us back and for your time. Remember, don't be trapped behind a foreign screen like former ASU alum James Harden. Stay in the action like a wildcat.
Thank you very much. Start with questioning. Steve, would you like to start off?
Just wanted to understand. Can you tell me a little bit about the market research you've done?
Yes, so we've talked to a lot of people about how they might use virtual reality. That was actually a big challenge we had early on because at the start of this in August, a lot of people didn't really know much about VR. And so in terms of the research we've done on marketers, we went through a lot of different market reports and then actually talked to people who plan on getting into VR. And so it's mainly been through researching like data that we can get online and then also just by talking to people. And
I think one of the key things, obviously, you're focusing on selling the hardware. The overall service is going to be imagined very expensive. How do you plan on pushing for adoption there? Bandwidth, processing power, everything else you're going to need to share your experiences. How is the opportunity to afford that? How you guys plan on tackling that?
So we do plan on selling the hardware, but then once we reach a critical mass in about year 2, we'll be able to really be making a lot of money through sponsored posts within our app. And there's also other stuff that we can do with the data that we'll be able to test once we have units ready to go in January. And among those are pay per experience. I've got a friend who's got over 100,000 people on Instagram, and he thinks he could charge people to watch his content. And so there are things like that we think we can make money through our platform. And then I think around year 3 or 4, that's when most of our money is going to be coming from the software.
How do you envision, I guess, sharing it now at what cost? Right? If I'm out there recording experiences and sharing with my friends, how's that go?
So right now, that's going to be done for free, and that's going to be just through money that we raise. And then later on, as we become profitable with camera sales and then with other forms of revenue, that's when we'll be able to really scale on that end. And then also in terms of that's one thing that we're testing is how much people will be willing to pay to host this much data.
So distribution of apps is hard. Getting critical mass is hard. What's the impetus for focusing on both the app and the hardware? But really, I think your value add right now is differentiation of the hardware, the compression algorithms to make this thing usable. You can partner with a number of different apparatus like Verse or the Times app, millions of installs. So why are you so focused on the app? Again, related monetization, I don't get it right now.
Well, for right now, because we plan on bringing a whole lot of new people into VR. We're targeting people who are currently under-targeted in VR, and when they get their first VR experience, and we're going to be competing for one of the around 8 on average apps that people download when they first get their headset, we think that we're going to be in a good position to compete on that because we provide kind of a social aspect that they're really not getting in these other ones. And so,
Why would you partner with somebody who already has 10 million installs? Is it just a codec you guys have to put in their application to make your product usable inside that application?
Well, yeah, I mean, because for our camera, we're in the 180-degree 3D section, and with these other ones, usually those video players are customized for these other types of cameras, and so to provide the best experience, it's probably best to have ours.
So my question is along the lines of distribution. I mean, how do you expect to get your first 10,000 units sold?
So, like we said, we're going to be pushing a lot of marketing through the social channels that people use for their current 2D social media. And we've also found a partner who has a vast network within players in the NBA and the NFL and musicians. And he's ready to get on board to both finance and to help us push that into those types of markets. So we plan on getting it on those those people with very wide influence online. Kind of like in the first presentation, I talked about the VR ambassadors, and we're trying to reach a lot of people through them so that they can expose their large following to this new type of social media.
I don't have any questions. Anybody else have another question? Sure.
Why is 180 so much better than 360, with the exception of
Okay, so first of all, for 360-degree cameras, the only one that actually does 3D are these cinema grade ones. And I'm part of this religion of people in VR that I say it's not 3D, I don't want to look at it. And so in terms of distributing the content, you have to go, like I talked to someone last week in Miami who just got a 360 camera and he had to pay $2,000 for software to stitch it. And so because ours only does 180, we bypass the stitching and it makes for quicker content. And we think that in order to support the business model for social media, that you need people to be looking at content quick. And usually what's behind you or above you might not be relevant for these quick experiences that people are sharing. So we think this is going to maximize impressions by allowing people to just get through the content.
Excellent.
Thank
We
you.
have a round of applause. All right, our next team up is Jupiter. Thank you very much.
We spoke earlier about the fun, cool things that you can do with drones, but drones can also do some pretty serious things. Earlier this month, the earthquake in Ecuador, a drone could have easily gone in, assessed the damage, pinpointed survivors, and maneuvered through small openings that a helicopter just wouldn't be able to do. For farmers, a drone can assess hundreds of acres of farmland for things like damaged crops. Suppose you're walking down the street with a loved one, and suddenly they collapse. You call for an ambulance, but because of traffic, they're at least 20 minutes away. The call center can deploy a drone to you with medical equipment on board and walk you through on your phone what you need to do to help save that person's life while you're waiting for the professionals.
Well, with these all cool applications, what are the opportunities and the problems we face in the drone industry? So if you look at the one side of the power, like who is going to develop the current applications, the developers. They face the problems because they have multiple platforms, like software platform, and they have to write the application for each of the platforms. And another set of segment is the drone owners. They have limited app option. Let's suppose they want to have another function. They need to go to buy another drone, and it's like cumbersome. So what are the solutions we have for developers? We are going to provide one software platform which will be free, and they will put all the applications on there. And for drone owners, they will have all kind of cool applications placed on our one-stop shop drone store. So if you look at the industry and environment currently consumer market is $3.3 billion, and it is exploding with a rate of 20%, and it will reach $10 billion by 2019.
So what makes us different from our competitors? Basically, for developers, is that we're simple to use, and they don't have to develop multiple times the same app to run in several manufacturers. They only develop once, and we give support for them to do the main drones. Then, for the end consumer, we provide a drone app store where they can find a specific app for their drone. We're simple and reliable. Then, our market segment. We have developers and drone users. So for developers, we want to show that we're experts in the field. We want to show them that we know what we're doing. And we will reach them through hackathons and trade shows. Then, for the drone users, currently there are over 300,000 registered drones in the USA with the FAA. And that's only registered drones. There's over 1 million non-registered. And we plan to target those, showing that drones are fun. There's something cool to use, and we would use that through social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. So our sales strategy. In 2016, we already developed our first app, which is a live streaming app, which is that we will make available very soon. And we focus only on media applications. Then, for the next 2 years, we're planning to develop and expand our market for agriculture, inspection, and we plan to develop other 4 apps. Then, for the last 2 years, we're going to release our API, given that we already know and we're experts in the field, and we know like the uses for the apps. So, developers can create and innovate in their own field.
So what is our business model? How are we making money? Basically, we have 2 streams of revenue. The first one is through Jupyter apps, which we're going to sell through our app store. And then developer apps, which we're going to charge a royalty per download as well. So our strategy with our API is to attract developers to write their apps on our API and then market it through our app store. So our financial projection, we're estimating, we had to come up with a range because since this is a new market, so we came up with this range for pricing the apps from 0 to 50. So we came on the lower end, an average of $20 download per application. And then for the royalty, we're expected to charge a 20% royalty, which is currently lower than what Apple and Google are charging, which is 30% to developers. So based on our projections, we expect to hit 240,000 the first year. We operate with a loss until year 3. The huge spike you see there from year 4 to 5 is because we open our API to developers and they can start selling the apps. Our biggest operating expenses are salary. We need 9 programmers. That's why we need $2 million in funding in order to make our software and provide applications on the API by year 5. Thank you.
So there are over 90 drone manufacturers in the US alone, around 200 worldwide. But 3 drone manufacturers, 3DR, DJI, and Parrot, together have 76% of the market. So if we get those 3, and DJI and 3DR are mostly open source, so we already have access to their software. Once we get those 3 integrated, then we have a huge reach on the consumer market. And as far as cost, Javier, the finance guy, will be able to... Yes, we're already working on the 3DR. We already have that. So yes, how much would it cost?
Oh yeah, so basically we need to hire external programmers. So the API I think is the most expensive thing. So we need the $2 million first to create the apps, the 3 apps, in order to showcase developers as well how easy it is to like develop an app and then through the API.
3 manufacturers, so you need to get 30%.
Yes,
and 3 apps.
correct. Plus the API.
Should I just think about this as like the Java runtime in the old days? Is that how I should think about this? That you guys go on top of it on a number of different OSs, and I write my Java app that runs across all different. Is that how I should think about this?
Yes.
Because that doesn't make a lot of sense. We did that. So, okay. So if that's, so do I have, as an end user, do I have to load the modern OS on top of the drone for applications to work?
Yeah, so our free strategy is because we don't want that in the sense that like the user will have to install like the frame, like our operating system. Makes sense. So what we're going to first do is we're just going to use the same libraries the manufacturer provides. Let's say they all have like the 3 main manufacturers, DJI, 3DR, and Parrot. They offer libraries for Android. So we're going to build on top of those. And then in lines, we're going to provide, like you mentioned, like the Java runtime.
Thank you.
So we have quite a bit of discussion in between the sessions on you in particular. And look, the market opportunity for drones is unknown, right? Yeah. But I think the targeted method of putting a software layer on top of an operating system is quite interesting. It all comes down to, at the end of the day, can you generate revenue from it, right? And so the key question that I have kind of after our discussion was, what's like the top 1 or 2 use cases? We have $240,000 in revenue planned in year 1. What's your top 1 or 2 use case that people are going to buy? Just enough volume of that can even bridge the gap to get to a $240,000 revenue.
Right. So currently, with our market research, we understood that 40% of the users, they want to use the drone for the media applications to take the videos and do the monitoring stuff. For the taking the videos, consumer market is very vast. And monitoring stuff, there is a commercial market. A lot of the power companies, they want to observe the powers using the drones. A lot of government, like UK, they are using drones to track the traffic. In Mexico, drones are open and they want to use to check the borders.
Okay, so imagine an application then what you're saying is that it will go out and actually monitor whether it's agriculture or whether it's power lines, whatever it is, and come back and show video snippets of here, this is what it looks like for somebody back in, you know.
Right, so currently they use helicopters to take the power lines, and with the drones, I guess the cost of drop will be like very significant, and that's our argument.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick question. Do you foresee any governmental regulations or things that may be a problem for you in the future?
I guess these are the not the problem we see. These are the opportunities for as a software, because software can avoid those restricted areas using the inbuilt platform and the GPS tracking systems. So with these advantage, I think the government is making serious thing about the drones and making people aware about how drones can be used for the commercial use and not just as a fun, and avoiding the securities and the privacy.
I have a quick follow-on, if I could. Did you do any kind of surveying in terms of evaluating the market opportunity for this in terms of actual sell-through?
Yes, we did the primary survey. We went into the discussions which are already available in the online about the drones, like drone enthusiastic. And secondly, we did the secondary research using whatever the research guide we have online available, and we identified that got like media applications are usually used nowadays, and we should look into that and develop the first live media applications, and then look for the other areas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Park Central, thank you very much. You have 5 minutes.
All right. Well, on behalf of our team, we first want to thank you all so much for welcoming us back, and we're very excited to take a deeper dive into all things Park Central. So, Park Central was founded on the notion that parking is one of the most frustrating parts of the day. It's something that almost everyone has to do. There are very few desirable alternatives, and people are already paying for it, but they aren't necessarily happy about the options that they have. So we conducted a survey with the University of Arizona community and found that a lot of students and faculty members shared these same pain points that we did. So as you can see on this graph, the biggest issue was that parking is way too expensive. We also found that there are just not enough available spaces, because even though you may have purchased a parking pass to a lot, it doesn't guarantee that you'll have a spot in there. And finally, it's too far away. So there's many spots around campus, and people can't park there because they don't have a pass for it. So we also found that there were more opportunities for people that had parking spots available as part of their rental agreement, but didn't have cars or weren't even using them. So we saw the opportunity, and this is what Park Central is going to look like.
So going off what Brittany said, our two major segments, we split it up into parkers and then parking spot providers. So for spot providers, not only are we going to look with rentals who have spots in their agreements, but housing around campus and housing in major cities and central business districts. And then for parkers, our initial demographic is going to be University of Arizona students, preferably students who have multiple classes in different areas around campus, so they don't have to be restricted to a single lot or garage. And then upon expansion, we plan on hitting businessmen and women who different multiple meetings in a major city or have to be into different places throughout their day.
Now, to refresh from earlier, our competitive advantages come from the fact that we save users a lot of time. We're going to save the average parker 8 minutes per trip. In addition to that, we're going to save parkers a tremendous amount of money. As you can see from the graph, they complain from it being way too expensive. By using our app, they're going to save at least 50% in comparison to traditional parking methods. And then finally, our app user face is going to be seamless. The other apps in the industry, such as Just Park and Parking Panda, people have complained about how easy the app is to use, and then we're also differentiating from Parking Panda in the fact that they require you to park there for a full day or a fixed time amount, but we're much more flexible. And then in addition to that, Just Park is just around houses, but we're going to expand into parking garages, private businesses, so we're really going to get out there.
So since we have two very distinct customer segments, we're going to have separate marketing campaigns to target each of those. So as far as the parkers go, our main goal is to just get as much exposure as we can to potential users. So in order to do that, we're going to do things like visit clubs, go to dorm movements, and go to fraternity and sorority chapter meetings. As far as the providers go, our goal is obviously to get as many desirable spots as we can. So we're going to rely primarily on face-to-face interactions with these customers, and in order to help us build these relationships and to just further promote the app among the student body, we're going to employ a campus rep program. Additionally, we're going to have ongoing digital marketing efforts via our social media, email list, website, and blog. So we believe that our sales are going to be primarily driven by word of mouth and repeat customer business. So in order to make sure that these users have as seamless of a first experience as possible, we're going to provide them with $20 to go toward their first booking experience.
So we will launch in Tucson in July of 2016 with a founder's investment of $200,000. This will be used for app maintenance and development. We also launching in a smaller area like Tucson allows us to take advantage of our personal networks and knowledge of the Tucson market, as well as receiving feedback from our customers so that we expand into larger markets, we have the best product available. We intend to launch into Northern California, specifically the Greater Bay Area, in July of 2017 with $1 million of outside investment. This will be used to hire sales staff, app development. It will be used for marketing, as well as renting office space. In 125, we plan to move into 7 major cities across the West Coast in order to reach our critical user base, which will allow us to have $28.9 million in revenue and $4.87 million in profit by year 5. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Great. So I'm glad we discussed the competitive landscape. That was my biggest feedback when we were discussing this with that. I think about ArcWiz, I think about Artificial Mention, I think about Spot Hero, I think about Owly, Mobi. There's a ton of guys in the space. And so that's my biggest challenge. Is one is that the established guys with a lot of cash, moving aggressively. What is your differentiation? How are you going to beat these guys? How are you beat that Spot Hero?
So we plan on beating them by basically offering the complete overall package of generating new spaces as well as having access to spaces that are additional there. We want to completely optimize the parking market, kind of like Uber has with transportation of people, by basically saying, okay, during these specific time periods, if you're going to want to park this close to this popular and central business district, it's going to cost more than, say, a mile away or 2 hours later in the day. That, and by incorporating houses with parking lots and parking garages, we will be able to fully optimize the parking industry and not reduce costs for parkers, but also generate more revenue for suppliers.
We also offer more equity for the person who's providing the spot than other companies like Just Park. We offer 80%, I think they offer somewhere like 65%, so that's definitely a competitive advantage in terms of parking spot providers.
Have you tested out the cost of any of this in terms of the cost of acquiring the parker, the cost of acquiring the landowner, or the kind of the host? Any idea?
The cost of acquiring the host, for our initial expansion in Tucson, we plan to use a team of interns, basically through the University of Arizona campus students, that we are going to be able to assign specific target houses, like location, streets, blocks they're going to have to go to, fill out a survey of exactly how their conversation went, and they will receive a couple $100 a month doing this. We think that it's a very low-cost strategy for us to get customers initially through the door, and it also engages our user base by spreading the word throughout the University of Arizona campus.
And the partners?
And for partners, we plan on doing things like dorm moving day, having tents open at tailgate season, visiting fraternities, sororities, and clubs, giving out our promotional coupons in order to say, hey, your first $20 worth of parking is free, come try it, get to know it, love it, and then the credit card's already on it.
But if you actually model out, how much that costs to do those things?
The cost to do all of those things?
Well, specifically the partners.
So the partners are cheaper. That's where most of our, so not all of our investment goes. I would say probably about 25% of it goes to marketing, where the partners take about 30%. So of our outsiders investment, that would be $60,000. Or no, it would be less than that.
What about the liability and the cost of that insurance for something like this, since you're going to be touching so many private property? Has that been evaluated?
So basically, it'll go from municipality, from what we understand. There's not really any regulations against parking in private properties yet. So it'll basically become, we will come in there and it will be legal, and if communities or HOAs have problems with it, then they will fight against it. But that hasn't been a very major problem for our competitors like Just Park in the past.
But if the cars that you park there do damage to the private property,
yes, we have
you're going to be in the middle of it.
Yes, we will be, and that's why we have their driver's license information, and credit card, and their insurance information, so that they can fully be liable through our agreement, terms of agreement that they will get.
Kind of further on, how do you know the person you're actually contracting with is the property owner? Is it kind of the diligence process you're using?
Yeah, so we'll either like see a rental agreement or where is it? Water bill, whatever type of thing that proves that they're currently at the house paying utilities, but
Right, I got one kind of counter to your question. Look out 5 years from now, within 18 months, is the demand for parking going up or down. We look at Uber and essentially how much cars live and where they're going in campuses and major cities, is the demand for parking actually going to go down?
I believe it will go down, and I believe that our app will help solve that problem. It'll help efficiently take the parking spaces that are there and be able to place the cars there.
It actually helps the owners.
Exactly. Exactly. Utilize it right.
Thank you very much.
Our next team, Rover. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, well, good afternoon again, and thank you for having us back. I'm Michael Young, Cameron Steiner, and Jimmy Song. We are really looking forward to giving you a more in-depth look at Rover Connects Redefined. Gave you the 30,000-foot view, so let's dive in right now. As we mentioned earlier, Rover is the mobile social connection network for best discovering new exciting connections wherever you are. And we have a phenomenal team here at Rover that is bringing it to market. Not only do we have the 3 gentlemen that you see before you today, we also have an external team that's separate from McGuire. Collectively, we have years of tech and non-tech experience and multiple successful exits from venture-backed startups. So we do have the team to bring this to fruition. We do have a competitive landscape that we're playing. We're not denying it, we're not hiding that fact, but the bottom line is Rover has an innovative and robust feature set that allows us to compete and blow away the competition both short and long term as soon as we reach virality.
Here at Rover, we are all about honesty and transparency, and this stems from a huge problem in the market right now. 42% of users on Tinder, a mobile dating app, are actually in a relationship. Now on Rover, we hold people accountable for what they're looking for and what that relationship is. So as we mentioned earlier, the app is split up into 3 sections, casual, serious, and friends. So if a user is interested in dating, we only allow them to either be in the casual section or the serious section. This way the users that they're interacting with know what they're there for. Now let's say a user is in a relationship. They will simply not be able to access the dating portions of the app, and they will only be able to access the friendship side. This way, like I said, this is a transparency thing on our end, and we want to solve this pain problem in the market.
Absolutely. So at our core, Rover is a software as a service company. That means we have development, we have to maintain our user base, and we have to get people onto the platform through marketing. So I'm going to touch on the development and the support aspects. Now behind me, you see our admin panel. Everyone is familiar with what occurs on the client side, the iOS or Android app that you download. But where the real magic happens, in our opinion, on these 2 fronts, is on that admin panel. So we built out a great admin panel that allows for not only short-term success, but long-term scalability. For example, right now you can see our user list. We have the ability to deal with problems as they arise, constantly monitor the system and the user-generated content to ensure that if there's any malicious activity, we can handle it in a snap. And then long-term, where the real excitement becomes is how we can interact with users. We can quickly add new activities that Cam mentioned earlier in our previous presentation, as well as generate daily icebreakers so we can stay current with events. Now, long-term, as we grow our feature set well beyond the initial MVP, we can use this admin panel to ensure success.
As far as our launch strategy is concerned, we are planning on doing our initial launch right here in Tucson. Subsequently, we have our Phase 1 and Phase 2 launch cities, targeting those that are extremely innovative, that also have a high female to male ratio. Now when it comes to marketing, we are focusing heavily on the digital marketing side, utilizing Facebook and other content creators such as Instagram and the like. Next, we have our brand ambassadorship, which we have already established here at the U of A, and we have 15 members ready for launch. Additionally, we have premium giveaways, and lastly, our local business partnerships, where we plan on delivering in-app coupons and special offers to drive that engagement and those downloads.
We're initially not looking to generate any revenue for the first 2 years, but it's so we build that critical mass of users. Prior to that, we focused on building a strong monthly and daily active user base. Once we do start generating revenue, we'll be implementing a B2C and B2B pricing model. For B2C, we'll be offering the standard free subscription as well as the premium monthly subscription at $9.99 per month. And for B2B, we'll be offering in-application advertisements at about $3 cost for 1,000 impressions, as well as various business partnerships. We've already spent a little bit over $300,000 bringing Rover to market. Fortunately, we received some technical delays we didn't look forward into, and this is postponed our intended launch of February back a few months. We only have about enough cash to last us 1 more month, and any capital gains we get from this competition and will help us bring on up to 7,800 users, as well as increase our valuation drastically during our first seed round of financing. We model our user growth rate off Tinder's user growth rate, and that we're predicting about 5,000 users right when we launch and about 800,000 users next year. The user growth rate heavily affects our financial model, for example, that accounting for 10% of the users will sign for a premium subscription, and that we're spending about $1.28 to bring on each user. In order for Rover to be successful in terms of user generation, we need to achieve virality. Once we do that, we'll be able to achieve high level of profits.
We have a lot of exciting things planned at Rover, and your help can greatly ensure our future success. So at this time, we'll open up the floor for any questions.
So, why do you think people are willing to pay?
Well, there is already a fair amount of market research and competitors that are in the paid space. For example, we have the Match.com price point about $20 a month. They do have some incentives with longer subscriptions. Now, Tinder, which is capturing approximately 5% of their overall users on their Tinder Plus, which essentially was just a retraction of the original feature set, and then charging for that charges users who are 18 to 29, $9.99 a month, and they charge over 29, so the 30 and above crowd, $19.99 for really nothing that is premium. And here at Rover, we are all about bringing luxuries that were typically reserved for the rich and wealthy. For example, if you have a Centurion card from American Express, you get great personalized concierge service. We want to bring that down to an affordable price point with some of the additional features that we bring in, making it a really cost-effective way to get some real premium value.
Have you done any kind of user research for your specific set of features for the price?
Yes, absolutely. So when we did our Applause research, Applause is a market research firm based out of Boston, Google uses them, for example, we did have some questions related to that, and there was a willingness to pay at that price point.
You say you've already spent 300. Excuse me. How did you raise that?
So that was a founder's investment, so we are all heavily invested in this, and we've got skin in the game, so to speak.
And you plan to launch this next month?
Yes, we're planning on launching next week, actually.
Steve?
Is there any specific category that you're schedule kind of serious about any one of these road will take off the other, or you guys are focused on one or the other?
Yeah, absolutely. We tried to distribute evenly across the 3 sections. It's honestly going to largely depend on demographics. So with our initial target market, we do expect the casual and the serious sections to take off a little bit more steadily than the friend section, being that the friends is a relatively new concept here. But long term, we think this is an underrepresented as far as the friend section is concerned, part of the market, and we think that could be a real shining star.
All right, I'd like to understand a little more about why there are people that pay for it. You said earlier you try to sign first, how many years people wait, and you get some people to start charging, take away features, start charging them. How's that going to work?
No, so the features that will be implemented, what you've seen here today, as well as some additional ones that we have in the work, those will always be free. We are really concerned with generating a truly premium feature set. For example, you're on the app and you want to know, how do I talk to this girl? Well, you can reach out to your personalized concierge. She can look at the history of that person and help you to start the conversation. So, premium feature set, we have a concierge service. We have some things tied in what we call Rover's Recommended, which is a platform for recommending how people can go out and interact. And a lot of those premium features are really closely tied to that, and we're planning on launching that in 2017.
So I guess the follow-up question is, how much capital would it be to basically manage all your video content, find out hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users? I mean, you're going to spend $1 million in my opinion. Absolutely. How do you plan on getting that capital going forward?
For short term right now, we have enough cash to last us about June 1st, and then once we go after our first round of financing, we're looking at about $400,000 in convertible notes, and that should last us about June to December, and afterwards we'll keep working on it.
So if you have success, which is actually going to be more profitable than as a failure at this point, how do you plan on getting, I mean, I guess I'm giving some advice, you probably want to start raising a lot more money a lot faster if you're model or start charging a lot sooner.
Absolutely. So, great points there. As we mentioned, the convertible note is designed to be a very short-term, quick raise. We have partners that, if necessary, we can go out and do a short bridge loan. Scott Ferrer, who's one of our team members, raised several other companies and has successful exits under his belt. So we're confident that right now we do have a good strategy in place for this short term, then doing a larger Series A come December, January, and then Series B to be determined based on capital needs from there.
So this is more of a comment, maybe a question, quick. You said 42% of Tinder users use the app even though they're with somebody else. That signals to be a very strong desire for that function. And I feel as though you should watch your target market a bit carefully, because that's actually true that your value prop is what's telling to more people. So, more advice.
I'd love to actually just share one thing. I know we're out of time, but for the rest of the groups here as well, we're obviously going to be evaluating all the teams, but the research that you guys were able to bring forward, and you were very much on top of it. So congratulations for the funding you received and for the research you got.
Thank you all. We really appreciate it.
Our next team is Theracia Pharma. We have 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dear judges, we have here tonight really appreciate for giving us the opportunity to come back and provide you more detailed information about our venture. We are Theracia Pharma, and we provide effective therapeutics for the treatment of neurological disorders. Our front-runner product, or HCV3, is a drug candidate discovered, developed, and patented by the University of Arizona. The drug has shown promising results in the treatment of a neurological disorder called dyskinesia. Dyskinesia, or involuntary movement of muscle, is a major side effect in people who are taking L-DOPA as a medication for Parkinson's disease. This is a highly debilitated problem and lowers the quality of life of patients. With our product HCV3, we think we can return the quality of life to those people who are losing it. The drug is ready to advance to next stages of drug development. But I should mention that drug discovery and development in pharmaceutical industry has a very complex business model. However, it can be formulated and customized based on the product and also the disorder. Javier is going to provide you more detailed information about Theracia's strategy on next stages of development.
Thanks, Ivan. And so, obviously, as a pharmaceutical startup, Theracia Pharma needs to take HCV3 through the drug discovery and development process. This process is long and has several phases. Now, currently, HCV3 is halfway through the preclinical phase of development, which means that we need to do some more animal testing to make sure that HCV3 is safe and effective, to then be able to go to the FDA and start using HCV3 in clinical trials in humans. Throughout this time, we anticipate needing 2.5 more years to complete this phase, and the main operations that Theracia Pharma is going to be involved in are going to be securing research and development funds and making sure that we have the correct people and correct expertise for a successful execution of these operations. Then we intend to take HCV3 through phase 2 clinical trials. And after this, we are intending to do a licensing out agreement. We do this because after this, more resources are needed, usually resources that bigger pharma have. And actually, statistics show that a lot of the startups, about 52% of them, do licensing deals through this stage. This encompasses the business model for Theracell Pharma. Now, as you can imagine, with L-DOPA-induced dyskinesia being so significant for Parkinson's patients, we are not the only ones trying to bring a solution for this condition. As I mentioned before, there's currently only one FDA-approved drug in the market. The problem is that even though it's effective at the beginning, it vastly loses its effectiveness. And because of that, many other companies are trying to come up with better solutions. And they are at different stages of the development. The competitive advantage that Theracell Pharma brings, number one, we have a combination of two very innovative mechanisms. Our drug, HCD3, targets two brain receptors that independently are involved within dyskinesia. This combination is not found in any of the other drugs in the pipeline. We also know that HCD3 has great distribution in the brain, which is where it's supposed to exert its function. And lastly, our clinical models show that HCD3 has very low toxicity, meaning low side effects in the future. Once we reach the point where we can license out, we have identified three big pharma, Merck, Novartis, and Teva Pharmaceuticals, that are all interested in this.
So, as we mentioned in the earlier presentation, for next 2.5 years, we would be using non-dilutive funding sources like from NIH and Michael J. Fox Foundation. This is to build value around our company so that we can provide more value to the investors that come into the later stage. Moving to the clinical trials, we will be organizing fundraisers and moving to the angel investors, specifically Life Science Angels and Life Science Angel Network, because they have shown interest in Parkinson's disease. They have invested in therapeutics previously. We would have 2 rounds, first one for 500 at valuation of 3 million, and second one for 1.5 million at around valuation of 8 million. Moving to the second phase, we will be going to venture capital, specifically MPM and Foundation Venture Group, again having 1 round of implementation. As Javier mentioned, moving forward in the phase 2 or moving forward in the phase 1, depending on our results, we will be starting negotiation with 3 of the big pharmaceutical companies to gain their interest, to gain their traction, and basically create awareness about our product, so that when we are ready to license out, we will have a good avenue and contact with the people. Talking about the journey, we have discovered the drug, very promising results, which really makes us believe in it. We have an advisory board that has helped us in defining the business strategy. We have been fortunate to represent McGuire at 3 of the competitions, and we will thank you for the money that we receive, because it will help us sustain till we receive our first grant and taking forward to the pre-clinical. Thank you. And now.
The trials that you're going to continue to do will be here at the university. Just as a sideline, I saw that the intellectual property is owned by the university. So are we to understand that if this is successful, and you either license or sell to the university, will receive some portion of that money in addition to?
Definitely so. Since the drug was discovered here,
right.
The intellectual property is here, and we have been working very closely with the Technology Transfer Office of the University of Arizona, and we're currently negotiating those licensing agreements. To be able to go to both the NIH grants and the Michael J. Fox Foundation, we need to have that. And so we have that. We are still discussing what are the best terms for these. Usually, the U of A, what it does, it takes about 5% in terms of warrants or equity, and it tries to not have a very big or almost no upfront payment for startups, because usually money is not what's most around there. And then it mostly bases on milestone payments whenever we reach clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, or phase 2.
Thank you.
What is the current relationship with the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and how do you see that developing through the phases here?
Sure. So Michael J. Fox Foundation, they have a designated line of budget for Parkinson's disease, specifically for dyskinesia, for new therapeutics for dyskinesia. And they have webinars and informational sessions. We have attended those, and the next round of application is May 18th, when they review all the pre-proposals, and we are ready to submit our pre-proposal. By that time, we evaluate it first, and then if it is approved, then we go for the real round of application in September.
And is there financing?
Yes. Part of the plan.
Exactly.
So, MJ Foundation has recently invested in one of the destination, and they have given up to 600,000 for development for 6 months. And that has accounted into for us to calculate it, because also they have 2 rounds of application for you. So you can go ahead and talk to them once, and then again they have pre-proposal, so it would give us better chances.
More on that from the timeline. So you guys are halfway through your preclinical trials for that?
Yes. With the preclinical phases.
How much money do you need to get to phase 1 clinical?
We have estimated that about $2.5 million, which is what we know we can accomplish if we get the grants both from NIH, SDIR, and STTR programs, as well as the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
So the foundation is going to come before the clinical trials?
Yes, to get there, yes. That's right. So over there, the preclinical phase, we're showing the cost that it will take to do the testing, and then the rest of the money to get to the 2.5 is some of the other operating costs and getting the people to do something.
This is not based on other lights. I mean, what's the failure rate here? 99% plus usually before you get the clinical trials, something like that. I'm just curious in the industry or in this kind of protocol in previous.
Yeah, usually when we're in the preclinical phase, going from clinical phase to the phase 1, we have about 70% failure rate, and then we go into phase 1, from phase 1 to phase 2, usually the 20% failure rate. So we know that it's risk-based investors in this area know as well, but it's how it works.
Yeah, so given that the risk profile with pharma, the market size, I think you mentioned earlier, was $500 million to 6% CAGR, is that correct?
That's right.
And do you see then other applications for those outside of information that you guys talked about?
Definitely. So we wanted to focus first on one problem. We believe it's more efficient when we do it like that. But we also have preclinical results for the same drug, HCD3, that show that it's great potential to treat drug overdose and addiction problems. So the main one is drug overdose, obviously currently a big problem around the US and around the world. So just like there's this American drug out there to treat people who are overdosing at home and just avoid their death. And we have something that we've seen in preclinical that can be 3 times as effective.
What is the time frame again? How many years will it take to get to actual revenue production and kind of year 1 revenue? How many years from now?
So we expect 2.5 more to be able to reach clinical, and then in the clinical trials we expect to be there about 3 or 4 years ourselves, and then be able to license out, which would be the time when we get the revenue.
Right, and then what's your, what would be your, I don't have your financials in front of me, your 5-year revenue plan, if it did all work out? Like how much revenue do you expect to produce in year 1 and year 2 of your actual revenue production?
So we would be working on a licensing model. And so what we expect when we go for the this initial market, we believe based on both expected net present value calculation and comparables, which many times are more important in the pharmaceutical industry, to have about $123 million for that licensing deal. Obviously, the terms of that after payments might some change in the benefit.
Thank you.
WorkSphere, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us back. I am Daniel Ticochea, and I am the CEO of WorkSphere. At the age of 19, I became the youngest store manager in the history of Albertsons. I was promoted because I always put my employees first. I wanted to provide them with everything they needed to succeed. The only problem was we were forced to use these inefficient and outdated data collection tools that hurt us more than helped us. And I also noticed that my employees and I were using our own smartphones to document work progress. And then a whole entire new problem arose. Now we're mixing personal data with work data. And now we don't know who this data belongs to. And I found it ironic how we walk around with literal computers in our pockets at all times. Yet we're forced to use these checklists, scan guns, and reports. I never understood it, but thankfully I met the WorkSphere team here, who conducted over 120 interviews and found that these issues were prevalent in a variety of industries. Retailers, like many companies, are losing out on millions of dollars due to these inefficient and outdated data collection tools.
As a quick reminder, so what WorkSphere is doing, we're consolidating all of this hardware into software that empowers employees to be more productive and efficient. And the way that we're going to differentiate ourselves from our competitors in the industry is that we're partitioning the employee's device and virtually transforming their phones into work devices. That way, the moment that they're clocked in through our software, all of that information will be isolated to the company storage. There's no more mix-up anymore. And all of their privacy is protected. according to Gartner, a leading IT research firm, bring your own device programs, which are programs where companies enable their employees to bring their devices for work, had a 33% acceptance rate in 2013 and jumped all the way to 74% in 2015 and continues to grow, which this proves that this is the perfect timing for our product to come to market.
So with Albertsons being the supermarket and grocery store industry, we found that the total available market are the 3.4 million employees that are working in these stores. Albertsons makes up 10% of this market, with 265,000 employees and 2,200 stores across 34 states. In order for us to work our way up and obtain this market, we're going to start by targeting the 7 Albertsons grocery stores in Tucson, Arizona that operate with 562 employees. We've already developed a very strong relationship with the local Albertsons as well as the store director, who has given us access to negotiating with the division president to implement our software regionally. This gives us a huge advantage as we attack the market nationally. We plan to advertise through online marketing, attending trade shows, and having a sales team that will use our strong regional presence to drive sales to these other retailers.
With this slide, we wanted to show you the large scalability of the concept just within our first customer, right? So this location growth reflects growth from Tucson locations, expanding regionally into a national expansion just within Albertsons. Again, leaving us with a $22 million EBITDA just from a national expansion within our first partnership. Here, I want to show you that most of our funding right now is going towards technology development, with about 20% going to startup costs and 10% going to legal fees. I want to take a second here to point out the competitive advantage of our team. Our revenue model is extremely straightforward, and this partnership with Albertsons allows us to scale the company extremely quickly. And as a startup, we're faster and more flexible than the existing ERP software providers in the grocery store retailing space.
Daniel's experience as a store manager of the Albertsons and Dante's experience with the Bring Your Own Devices program. And our background in technology and business will help us to execute our program by using a knowledgeable and effective approach. And also we have 2 early evangelists. They all serve as our gateway, which will walk through to test our concept at their store. Ever since Daniel found this opportunity to improve the grocery retail industry, we formed our team and come up with Walkthrough 1.0, which we use to validate our concepts through 124 interviews. In those interviews, we find out our concept can be widely adopted in many different industries. At the beginning of this year, we recruit our network security team and come up with Walkthrough 1.1, and also we got it accepted by 5 national business competitions. So those business competitions, we got all valuable resources and also the feedback to continually help us grow. And also, seeing the progress we have made within 6 months, the Albertsons store director, Craig Bell, found us and seemed really passionate about this project. He personally put the investment into this project, and also he allowed us to negotiate with the president of the Albertsons with Albertsons, and also which allow us to continue develop this project and also test in their store. So moving forward, we will have our meeting with them in June and to negotiate further expansion, and also before our soft launch in August. Thank you so much.
How significant is bring your own device as part of your plan here? Could that be swapped to public providers or where does that sell for actual user versus the product?
All right, so we'll break that up into a couple of questions. I think it's one of them is bring your own device, and then how well will it be adopted? Okay, so the bring your own device program. So there are scheduling softwares that are bring your own device programs, and there are field service, which is the heavily impacted industry. And so these bring your own device programs have been working very well there, but there isn't anything yet in the grocery retail store. And that's basically because the phone adoption has been continuing to increase. There are, now it's over 90% of acceptance in the smartphones that users have. And so for the client adoption, we have been basing it off of our interviews at Albertsons and just how well they have received this, and they said yes. I mean, we're not only taking something that they're already doing, which is taking pictures of, oh, here's an incident, I'm going to take a picture because that describes it much well, I'm trying to write about it. So we're creating this space for them to be able to do that securely.
So you actually have support on that point of view?
Yes.
As well as the actual
Yes.
Yeah, to answer the first one, we have a competitor who actually focuses on not bringing your own device, that they provide the smartphones, but then the issue becomes that those phones are limited, right? So through our software, you still have all the functionality, and it's because it's focused at BYD. So whether they're provided by the company or your own, so.
I'm going to go ahead and buy that. You want to actually do that, find a little bit harder to believe if they're a company I work with, doesn't want employees texting other people at work. But let's go with that assumption. I love the space, love the product. How are you going to, you're basically almost going in there, and you talk about ERP systems that are in place today. You have to integrate with a sheer number of ones you can integrate with, just to do shelf management, get SKUs into your system, so when you scan it, it makes sense. You're talking about massive integration with huge companies like JDA, medium-sized one this year. Big space, tons of players. Albertsons probably has 15 different disparate systems that you integrate with. How do you plan on tackling that? What do you think that should take?
Yeah, so it is going to take a lot of resources on our end and especially on their end too. The thing that really gets it is that the smartphones, they're so high tech, right? They can plug into so many things. They're programmable, and it's literally a computer. So as long as it's a computer, you can make it work.
Well, I know you can do it. Of course, you're getting JDA to sign off on it and partner with you guys and integrate to get their data and point of sale companies. I do it with my startup, it's not this. We sold those things. It's very challenging. So I think you need to look at that really hard. And the other thing is look at piece of advice, figure out a way to generate revenue versus cost savings and the ability to sell. 100 things in a week that show a small uptick in revenue for a grocery store or marketing solo, you're going to grind more, right? It's a great product, great idea.
Yeah. So to answer that as well, we increase communication as well. Through our software, we're able to provide real-time updates, so managers get the updates, employees get the updates. Everybody knows what's going on at all times. So. No, we haven't measured that at all. But yeah, so with the communication, you can see the things that are working, the things that are not. Currently, if there's something that's working, they've got to email it to the district manager, and then he's got to email it to everybody, and then nobody even reads the email.
Sounds like the office. So I guess I applaud that you guys have a great customer. I'm also nervous that you've got one customer in which you're banking all of your current plans. And you talk through how you can raise additional capital early on to make sure you are building options that give other segments of the overall commercial market versus the growth rate.
Yeah, well, first of all, we are partners with different nonprofits in the area, such as Ben's Bells, so we will be offering our services for them for free. And then also, I'm sorry, repeat the question? So then also other clients, yeah. So once we've developed it with Albertsons, right, they're the second largest grocery retailer in the country, so their needs are very similar to smaller grocery needs, independent groceries, even like the co-op down on 4th Avenue, right? And so once we've developed it and become, even before a national expansion within Albertsons, we will have a marketable product to begin attracting those other grocery retailers.
How extensive is your trial so far? So how many actual days, people have been involved, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so far we've done 3 full days where we're actually testing everything, and all of our results are based on those days.
How long ago was that?
The last one was about 3 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay, and so are they chomping at the bit to kind of get this in place in terms of everyday use?
Yeah, well, we're jumping at the bit, yeah, we're working on it.
Just curious if they're trying it and
no,
they see that level of data.
No, definitely, yeah. Everybody we tell is very excited about it. I know the president's heard about it. We've been working with the vice presidents at this point. Everybody, I mean, it's hard not to sell $295 a week. So it's coming along well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.